Today, I'm going to be trying the most famous last meals of prisoners on death row. Will I survive this challenge? We'll just have to wait and see. Timothy McVeigh was a terrorist known for planning the Oklahoma City bombing on April 19, 1995. The bombing targeted Alfred P. Murrah Federal Building. It resulted in the deaths of 168 people and injured over 600 others. The attack was the deadliest act of domestic terrorism in U.S. history at the time. McVeigh carried out the bombing as an act of revenge against the federal government, particularly in response to events like the Ruby Ridge incident. He was convicted and sentenced to death. He was executed by lethal injection on June 11, 2001. And on his very last meal, he asked for just 2 pints of mint chocolate chip ice cream. You know, for all the crimes he committed, his ice cream choice was not one of them. I personally love mint chocolate chip ice cream. It's like brushing your teeth and enjoying a dessert at the same time. Now, if he got 2 pints, there's no way in hell I'm eating 2 pints, but I will enjoy some mint chocolate chip ice cream. I could take down this whole thing. Victor Fager was a convicted murderer and also the last person executed in the state of Iowa. He was executed on March 15, 1963 for the kidnapping and murder of Dr. Edward Bartles, a physician from Iowa. Fager lured him to his death by pretending to need medical assistance. After kidnapping him, he shot him and left his body in a cornfield in Illinois. Fager's execution was most notable because he requested a single olive with the pit still in it as his last meal. He hoped that an olive tree would grow from his grave as a symbol of peace. It's a little too late for that, buddy. Yeah, this is it. This is what his whole life came up to. A single olive. That's so fucking boring. Eileen Carol Warnoss was a serial killer who murdered 7 men between 1989 and 1990 in Florida. Warnoss was arrested in 1991, and her case gained significant media attention due to the nature of her crimes and her background. Her story became widely known, and she was eventually sentenced to death for her crimes. Warnoss was executed by lethal injection on October 9, 2002. Her life and crimes were the subject of the 2003 film Monster, and her last meal was just a simple cup of coffee, which, unless she thought would counteract the lethal injection, is not a last meal, but a last drink. So she died drinking a cup of coffee, and the only thing I can assume is that she thought the coffee and the caffeine would counteract the effects of the lethal injection. Obviously it did not. Maybe she just loved coffee. I don't think I'd love it enough to make it the last meal. It's solid. It's not a meal. John Wayne Gacy was an American serial killer who became infamous for murdering at least 33 young men and boys between 1972 and 1978. Gacy, often referred to as the killer clown, would lure his victims into his home, typically by pretending to offer them work or a ride, and then torture and strangle them. Gacy was known for performing at children's parties and charitable events dressed as Pogo the Clown, a character he created himself. The investigation into Gacy eventually led to his arrest in 1978. He was sentenced to death and was executed by lethal injection on May 10, 1994, and he did not skimp out on the last meal, that's for damn sure. For his last and final meal, he ate a bucket of KFC fried chicken, fried shrimp, and a pound of strawberries. My guy John was definitely a clown because this shit is wacky. I would never in a million years ask for strawberries in my last meal. KFC, completely understand. A bucket of KFC, that's a good way to go. Personally, I'd pick Popeyes, but you know, it's a close second. Deep fried shrimp, I don't like it enough to have it as a last meal, but I can understand it. Anyways, that's enough rambling. Let's try John Wayne Gacy's very last meal on planet Earth. Are you guys breasts or thigh people? Personally, I'm a personality guy.
That's actually hilarious.
All right, next up, move to the shrimp. I like shrimp sauteed. I don't like it fried. Not bad though. Shrimp is boring. It's no fun. Pound of strawberries though. Maybe like a strawberry smoothie I would do, or like a milkshake. The only reason I could see someone ordering a pound of strawberries is because it takes a while to eat. A little bit of strawberry, bit of chicken. You can add in effects. Ted Bundy was an American serial killer and necrophile who became one of the most notorious criminals in the United States history. Bundy confessed to the murders of 30 young women and girls, though the actual number of his victims may be much higher. His charm, good looks, and intelligence, combined with his horrific crimes, made him for some reason America's most beloved serial killer. That's fucked up. You should not have a favorite. He was finally captured in February 1978 and stood trial for his crimes. He was convicted of multiple murders and sentenced to death. Despite numerous appeals, Bundy was executed in the electric chair on January 29, 1989. And as his last meal, he got the one thing you don't order at breakfast when someone else is paying for you: steak and eggs. Seriously, it's disrespectful. Ted Bundy almost got away with it purely because of his looks, which is actually insane. And he's not even that hot. Like, there are way better looking criminals out there, like Cody Ko. But he decided to go out eating steak and eggs, which is a breakfast food. I don't know when he was executed, but if it was during dinner time, this is unacceptable. I cook this myself, so hopefully it should be a good medium rare to rare. Look at this, absolutely beautiful and rare. It's almost like it's still alive, just like Tupac. For a last meal, it's boring like the rest. This just doesn't hit, you know? You're gonna go out with a bang. You're not gonna get steak and eggs. Lawrence Russell Brewer was a white supremacist and convicted murderer who gained infamy for his role in the brutal hate crime that led to the death of James Byrd Jr. in Jasper, Texas, 1998. Brewer, along with two other men, Sean Berry and John King, abducted Byrd and subjected him to a horrific ordeal. Then they chained him by his ankles to the back of a truck and dragged him for several miles along a rural road. Byrd died from the injuries sustained during the dragging, and his body was left severely dismembered. Brewer, along with King, was convicted of capital murder and sentenced to death. And if this guy wasn't enough of an asshole, he ordered, stay with me, 2 chicken fried steaks, a bacon cheeseburger, an omelet, barbecued meat, fried okra, fajitas, pizza, ice cream, and peanut butter fudge. Literally fuck this guy. How can he be dead and still messing with my life? Lawrence Russell Brewer. What a fucking asshole, but man does he know how to leave this earth properly. The only annoying part is I had to buy all this food. Moving on. This guy did not skimp out on anything. He got fried okra, barbecued meat, hamburger, omelet, fajitas, pizza, peanut butter fudge, and vanilla ice cream. Honestly, a solid selection. A couple things in here that I've never tried before and I don't think I would choose. The fried okra, never had. We'll see. Other than that, I say we dive straight into this meal. Start off with some barbecued meat. I got some brisket here. Pulls apart, absolutely beautiful. That is really good. A full Texas barbecue would be a great way to go. Let's try the chicken fried steak. Never had this before. Never looked appetizing to me. It's topped with gravy. It's okay. There's nothing special about that. Fried okra. Also never had before. Looks really good actually. Nice little appetizer. Pop one in. Yeah, that's solid. Fried okra, definitely a good choice. Next, just to get it out of the way, I'm gonna eat some of the omelet because, I mean, eggs in your last meal, which doesn't make any sense to me. Fajitas. It's your last meal. Are you gonna be cordial about how you eat this stuff? No, you're just gonna enjoy it. You're gonna do whatever the fuck you want. Next up, move to the cheeseburger. Now, like I said, a burger is a smart choice. He made 2 vital mistakes. 1, I don't think he chose Burger King. Absolutely horrible. Burger King is the best fast food burger. I'll say it till the day I die, which might be soon. 2, he asked for a bacon cheeseburger. Bacon and cheese do not belong on a burger. Bacon doesn't belong anywhere, unless it's turkey bacon. I'm gonna have to knock him down a few points because of that, but you know, to each their own. Great, man. I tried to eat a bunch of random ass food. The last savory thing he had was pizza. Personally, I'd get mine thin crust. That's just the way I like it. This is great though. Finally, we move on to the dessert portion of this meal. First up, I'm gonna try something I've never had. Peanut butter fudge. It's just overly sweet peanut butter. Oh my God. There's something wrong with you if you enjoy this. Last and final thing he ate was a pint of ice cream. I got vanilla. It didn't specify which type of ice cream he enjoys, so I'm just gonna assume he's a bland guy with a name like Lawrence Russell. Perfect way to tie it all together though. If I had to choose dessert for my last meal, I would choose cheesecake, ice cream, and cookies. No, cheesecake, ice cream, and brownies. Yeah, that's what I would do. That sounds incredible. James Edward Smith was a convicted murderer who became known for his unusual last meal request before his execution. Smith was convicted of the 1983 murder of Larry Don Rojas, a Houston insurance executive. During a robbery at Rojas's office, Smith shot and killed him. He was later sentenced to death with his execution scheduled for June 25th, 1990. Hey, that's the day after my birthday. Instead of asking for food, Smith requested a lump of dirt specifically to perform a voodoo ritual known as hoodoo. He believed that this ritual would allow his spirit to remain on Earth. The prison officials denied his request for dirt since it was not considered a traditional food item. Yeah, no shit. Instead, Smith was offered a yogurt as a substitute, which he declined. Smith was later executed by lethal injection on the scheduled date. James Edward Smith got denied his dirt, but in his honor, I guess, we will be enjoying some dirt, because if this is what you request, this is what you shall receive as your last meal. Oh God. Cheers. Oh my God. I'm just kidding. There's a bunch of crushed up Oreos. Oh, delicious. Philip Workman was convicted of the 1981 murder of a Memphis police officer, Lieutenant Ronald Oliver, during a robbery at a Wendy's restaurant in Tennessee. Workman was attempting to rob the restaurant when the police arrived at the scene. Officer Oliver was shot and killed. Workman was convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to death. His case garnered significant attention over the years due to the concerns about the fairness of his trial and whether Workman was the one who actually fired the fatal shot. Despite these controversies, he was executed by lethal injection on May 9, 2007. His final meal request gained widespread attention because he declined a traditional last meal, instead asking for a large vegetarian pizza to be donated to a homeless person in Nashville. Now, Philip Workman did a lot of horrible things in his time, but for his last meal, he decided to do one final act of kindness and donate vegetable pizzas to the homeless. In that spirit, for every 1,000 likes this video gets, I'll be donating $100 to my local homeless shelter, so it's up to you guys. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe, like, leave a comment, turn on the bell notifications, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.